Gliscor360. Here I have an underused battle for you guys today. It's actually against some guy named PeiceOfPwn. Met him on his app. This video is actually for a new channel. Two guys I know created. They wanted me to join to kind of help them get a head start. I said I'd join temporarily. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin the battle. So, like I said earlier, it's against a guy named PeiceOfPwn. Pop. He sends up a dirty reference. I'm gonna go ahead and send up my Azelf. I figure he's just gonna start with the stealth rocks. So that's what he does. He sets up the rocks. Not that big of a deal because that's exactly what I did too. So we both got our rocks up here. I decided it's not such a good idea to stay in because I know the thing is Sucker Punch, and I didn't think it would be a good idea, so I went ahead, switched into my Hitmontop. I get some of that Intimidate action on him. Stealth rocks don't do that much. Get the Intimidate, and so that threesome is intimidated. He goes for the Stone Edge. It does, what, 20 damage. And my Hitmontop's looking really nice right now. So I get my leftovers. I'm about almost up to full HP again. So I decide I'm just going to go for the bulk up, considering he probably can't do anything to me. He goes ahead and switches into his Crush. Yeah, which is one of those turtle things. I don't know their name. He gets a bit of Stealth Rocks damage. Not that big of a deal. I go for the bulk up. To be honest, I should have gone for a lot more than one bulk up, because I do lose my Hitmontop because I didn't set up properly. And I decided I'd just go for the high jump kick, see how much it does. And we both hold leftovers, so stealth rocks aren't going to do that much. I go for that high jump kick, stab with a bulk up. It's still not going to manage to kill, despite it being super effective. Because those things have defenses that can go beyond 416. So he goes for a curse. Not that big of a deal. He gets his stats a bit higher. And I figure he's probably going to go for the Aqua Jet here. So I decide to just go with the bulk up here. And it turns out he does go for the Aqua Jet. It does a fair bit of damage. I don't have any defense EVs, so it does a fair bit of damage. I predicted that he'd just go for the Aqua Jet, and I set up another bulk up. So both of our HPs are looking pretty good here. I get some more leftovers, and I decide I'm just gonna go for the high jump kick here, because I didn't go for Sucker Punch because I didn't think he'd make that mistake again. So I just went for the high jump kick, and it takes him out. So I'm already at a 6-5 lead. And he sends in, after I get my leftovers. So he goes ahead and sends in the Pidgeot. And I'm pretty sure it can't do much to me, but it turns out it's a special attacking Pidgeot, and a Hurricane is going to be able to take me out. I did go for the Stone Edge instead of the Sucker Punch. I was afraid Sucker Punch wouldn't kill, so I lose my Hitmontop early game, and now he tied it up. It's 5-5. So down goes my Hitmontop. I'm going to send in my Weavile, scare him off the Ice Punch. I decided to just go with it anyway because, you know, he might be specs based on that damage, because I am careful nature. And I go for the Ice Punch. He switches into a Swak, and it takes the Ice Punch quite nicely, but he switches it in like if it was scarfed or had some kind of priority. I don't want to be mock punched or hit by a scarfed close combat, so I decide I'm just gonna switch out because I'm too scared to stay in. So I switch out. I'm just gonna go into my Celebi to sponge the close combat. But it turns out he doesn't go for the close combat. He goes for a Rock Tomb, which I found quite confusing. Why not Stone Edge? That doesn't do jack, and it lowers my speed, so I guess that's kind of good for him. I get some leftovers recovery, and I figure he's just going to switch out, so I went for the T-Wave on the switch. He goes into Little Junior, which is his Mantike. It takes a crap ton of Stealth Rock damage. I decided just to go for T-Wave on the switch. I figured it'd be pretty good on anything but the Dugtrio. And so now he's paralyzed. I figure those things have pretty good HP, and looking at my HP is pretty low. So I decide I'm just gonna go set up the Leech Seed here. So now I've got this thing leeched, I've got leftovers, and I've got reliable recovery. He goes for fires off an air cutter, stab, super effective, gets a crit, and it still doesn't do much. Oh, I'm sorry, it doesn't get a crit this turn. So I get some leftovers. I get some Leech Seed. I'm looking at a pretty respectable level of health, and well over 300, so I've well over 3/4 of my health left. I go for the Thunder Wave on the anticipated surf, but he sends into the Dugtrio, so that's kind of horrible. So I fired off the T-Wave, it doesn't do anything. And this Dugtrio is holding leftovers, which I found rather strange, because usually Dugtrios have a tendency to be choice banded, or choice scarfed with max attack, or they can actually be timid with, jolly with Life Orb. So he fires off Stone Edge, that doesn't do anything, despite it being a crit, and I go for the Leech Seed, predicting a switch, because why would you send that? Oh, actually no, I predicted the Sucker Punch. And I've been predicting the Sucker Punch all game, and he never fires it off. So I get some leftovers recovery, I leech some of his health. Brings me back up to a pretty respectable level of health. And I decide I'm just going to predict a switch again. He stays in, misses the Stone Edge, which makes up for the crit. And I go for the Psychic, predicting the switch. Didn't go for the Leaf Storm. Psychic does a pretty good level of damage, considering I have no EVs whatsoever in special attack that I know of. And so I'm getting reliable recovery. With the Leech Seed, it should bring me up to 290 or 80 or something like that. So he's looking in a very low red health. I decide I'm just gonna... he misses the second Stone Edge, which is unfortunate, and I'm just gonna go for the Psychic and finish him off. So things are looking pretty good for me. I've got a pretty good lead on him, and I get some leftovers. So now I'm just waiting to see what he sends in. He sends in the pjhd. So I know I'm gonna have to make the switch, because a Twister is gonna be able to kill me based on the damage it did to my Hitmon top. So I switch, I go into my Suicune to sponge the hit, and he goes for a hidden power, and judging by it being, I get some pressure on, which is nice, and judging by the power of the hidden power, being it not very effective, I'm gonna go ahead and say it's hidden power ice, considering he did use it on the Celebi. So I just restore the hidden power ice off, and he switches out. I just predicted that and went for the Calm Mind. He switches into his Mantike. I know he's just gonna Toxic me, but I do have the rest, so I'm not too worried. I'm just gonna continue setting up Calm Minds. So I'm at +1 in both special attack and special defense. I do get some leftovers recovery, so I'm looking at a really high amount of health now, only 30 off my max. And I go for another Calm Mind, predicting the Toxic, and that is what he goes for. So Toxic on Suicune usually isn't that good, but luckily mine has rest. And he Toxic me, and it hits with the 90% accuracy and 5th gen, rather than the 80% accuracy. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here and put the rest later. So you just missed a bit of residual damage there. I go for a Calm Mind, the third one, so I'm at +3 in each stat right now. And then he surprises me with, what move was that? Amnesia, I believe, and that puts him at +2 right off the bat. So instead of just resting off and stalling him out, I know I'm just gonna have to go for the Ice Beam to try and finish him off now. So I believe this is an Evolution Stone Mantike. I might be mistaken though. So Toxic is really starting to take its toll on me. I go ahead and hit him with the Ice Beam. It manages to take him out at that health, which is surprising. I get a crit. I'm sorry about that. So with the Mantike down, I'm free to set up more Calm Minds or rest it off. And I'm wondering what he sends in. And the Toxic does a lot of damage this time, like 70 damage. He sends back into his sock and gets some of that damage. I didn't want to take a close combat, but he goes for a payback. I guess he was predicting the switch in Azelf, because that would have been super effective. But even then, because payback's power was halved if I didn't attack him. So he goes first, meaning payback doesn't do anything, and I'm just gonna restore that off. But I know that Toxic is gonna be doing a load of damage now, and he sends in his Lola, which is a Pokemon I haven't seen yet, which is his Banary, what's it called, Lopunny, and he goes for a Dizzy Punch, trying to get some confusion hacks on me. It does like 10 damage, and I decide to just rest it off, because I know I can take those all day. I am the bold-natured, try and get as much HP as possible, so I can just Calm Mind and have max HP. Therefore, I am the most, the best wall you can get, considering I have rest too. So he goes for another Dizzy Punch, still trying to get some confusion. Unfortunately, he doesn't get it, and I'm just sleeping away here. I just got hit by a Dizzy Punch, and I didn't even wake up there. So he's gonna go for another Dizzy Punch. I don't know why he's staying in, but whatever. He goes for a Dizzy Punch, and it doesn't do anything. And I'm just gonna continue sleeping here. And I get some more leftovers. Brings me back up to about 319. So I figure he's just gonna switch, but he goes for a, I don't know what that is, but I think it makes me have the same ability as him. So I turn into a Klutz Suicune, which I don't know what that does. I don't know why he has it, but I just go for the Scald. Hits him right to the stomach, and that's going to be easily enough to take him out. So I believe he's down to his last. I'm not sure really. He sends in this Pidgeot. He takes a load from Stealth Rock. I know he can't do much to me at +3. He goes for the Hurricane. It does like -5 damage, and I'm just gonna take him out with a Scald because he might go for a Roost. So I'm not sure if he has another Pokemon or not. If he does, so yeah, I'm at +3 in both stats. Oh no, I was right, he doesn't have another one. So that was a good game. What's his face? PeiceOfPwn. I hope we can have another battle in the future. I'm not sure about his YouTube. So yeah, that was a great game. This is for the one of the new channels that these two guys created. Be sure to check them out too, and thanks, bye.